Researchers say today's fires involving synthetics, plastics, and chemicals can cover firefighters in a toxic soot. On the memorial wall at fire headquarters, the faces of cancer. 190 firefighters who've died of job-related cancer just since 1990.
The biggest danger to firefighters today has changed, from the fires they fight to the smoke those fires produce.
The fire scenes now, after the fact, are just as dangerous from the perspective of the byproduct of the fire. So the fabrics and materials used to build a home, to furnish the home, are producing chemicals that are extremely dangerous to anybody and firefighters.
Because even though you don't see the smoke, these things are still off-gassing. And it can still attach to your skin, to your clothing, to your hair, everything.
Firefighters in and of themselves have a 9% higher risk of getting cancer in their lifetime, and unfortunately a 14% higher risk of dying from cancer in their lifetime than the average person. So we as an organization and leadership here at Pasco County, we want to make sure that we're doing everything we possibly can to try to minimize that risk.
Growing up, elementary school, I had a friend that we went to school together. He actually got hired at the fire department I started my career in. Wednesday before Thanksgiving, he came into my office and told me he had cancer, neck cancer. But he would come into my office often because he had cancer in his neck. And he was convinced that it's the way we wore our hoods. Come out of a fire, the hood goes down around your neck, you walk around, your coat might be off, but the hood is around your neck. He was convinced. So I actually went to the ER that day and he passed that day, and it was tough.
In Arizona, Dr. Burgess says one of the easiest things firefighters can do to prevent cancer is wash their gear and themselves immediately after a call.
In the past, they wouldn't segregate their gear. They may go sit down in their living quarters, maybe with their gear on and get it on the couches, etc. Yes.
These firefighters are also taught that looking dirty isn't heroic, but dangerous.
I mean, the old running joke in the fire service is that if you had a dirty hat, you're the cool guy. Look at me, I had a fire, look at my gear and smell it. Now it's kind of like, no, you're wearing a cancer hat and a cancer suit. It's, that's not the new normal. Let's start a new normal, start a new trend.
Well, with more studies coming out and older firefighters from 30, 40 years ago, all of them are getting cancer, having health issues and everything. And this is just our way to set ourselves up for the future so this new generation of firefighters coming in doesn't have those same experiences when they're in retirement.
Time is very critical. The sooner you can get the carcinogens off, the better. And science is proving that we need to remove that as quickly as possible, which is one of the reasons why clean cabs started coming around in conversation, to get as much of the carcinogens off of you as soon as possible. We're just extending it further to your equipment.
I've heard war stories of putting it on the ground with soap and water and brushing it with like truck mops and cleaning it like that and hanging it up to dry and getting back on in the meantime. Hopefully you don't get in a fire in the meantime because you're waiting for your gear to dry.
We would wash our face masks either in some soapy water or something in a sink or in a bucket.
And unfortunately, that's what we were doing. We were cleaning them with a bucket of soap and water and scrubbing the equipment manually.
So I spoke to, at the time, the rep who was working for MEIKO at the time. Talked to him one day, 2 days later, he was in my office. Fantastic. He saw the vision that we had and came down immediately to start discussing, start putting a plan together. We arranged to get some demos. Then we started building that into our new DECON truck that we're going to have built that should be delivered sometime this summer. The MEIKO unit is going to be definitely a game changer for us.
We washed things manually, and then we turned around and washed that same product again in the MEIKO machine, and the difference was astounding. So that's when we knew that's when we needed to get this, because it not only just physically cleans it, as we all know, it also provides a level of sanitization, which is really important, especially with face masks and things that make direct contact with your skin. You don't want any kind of germs or bacteria or anything that's going to be trapped against your face, so this unit helps assure that doesn't occur.
The new MEIKO DECON machine makes it very easy to clean up to, I believe it's 4 or 5 masks at a time, clean our SCBAs so it's not getting those harmful carcinogens back onto our faces and absorbing into our body.
going from just a normal hand wash to that machine, that it's night and day. You know, everything's a lot cleaner, it's a lot fresher. You can feel it on your face, on your feet.
A couple things I like about it: the simplicity of it, how easy it is to open and close and load in the gear. And then it's just a button, and it's 2 or 3 minutes later, it's done. You take it out, you dry it off, and it's clean. It's amazing. It seems so simple to do such a fantastic job.
I hadn't used my mask in a while, it still looked good. Once I put it in there, let it run and pulled it out, and it looked like it just came out of the box. I was honestly shocked. I couldn't believe it, how dirty it actually was to when I thought it was clean.
So that was one of the most amazing things after the first time I actually got to put eyes on it and see it clean some masks, was how dirty the water was after it rinsed everything off. And then you take out the mask and you use a white towel and you dry the mask off, and the towel is still white.
And I think it helps the guys in the field feel more ease knowing, okay, this thing that I'm putting on my face and I'm breathing, there's no contaminants in here. I think it gives them a little bit more sense of well-being, knowing, okay, I'm gonna better protect myself, my family, and my future by being able to get these contaminants off this gear.
Kind of the industry standard, so to speak, was to issue every firefighter 2 sets of turnout gear. So when they go on a fire, they soil one, it's all wet, it's dirty, they can take it off, put it in a bag, put it on the truck, and then get their second set. Now they have a second set if they go to another fire. Problem with that is, 1, it's very costly, and 2, there's a storage issue. You got to store all that gear somewhere. So that was the problem that we were trying to solve. We thought there's got to be a better way. So then we turned our sights to building a purpose-built vehicle to actually handle what we were wanting to do. So we worked with the manufacturer, and we were able to design, and now being built, a purpose-built DECON unit.
So we're going to be able to have the 2 of these units on our truck. So on a scene, we'll have the same process, except we'll be adding their boots and their masks. We'll be doing it on scene. Right
there, we're going to save a lot of time, a lot of energy. Instead of having to bring it back to a station or back to the training center, as we currently do to clean it, they'll be able to clean it right there at the point of origin. So I think once that vehicle arrives, we're going to even improve pretty dramatically on the efficiencies that we currently have out there today.
To me, the biggest ROI is we are protecting our firefighters from additional exposures to cancer. Having a friend that passed away directly from cancer, from being in the fire service, I can tell you that's way more of a priority to me than the cost of the machine. But the machine is going to be paying for itself, because just in the time factor, I don't have to send a helmet away. When we send stuff away, gear away to get inspected, usually it's 2 to 3 weeks before we get it back. Just that savings is going to pay for itself in a very short period of time.
There's nothing but benefit. I know it's hard to change because I've always done things a new way, but if you look at the research, I can show you mounds and mounds of research. By simply changing out your hoods, changing your gear, you're going to have a 60 to 70% better chance of not getting cancer by letting us do this for you. I mean, can you give me a reason why not to do that? I don't think they'd be able to.
MEIKO, the clean solution.